Have you ever looked at your bank account and wondered how it's possible to be this smart and still not feel financially secure? Have you ever thought, I did everything they told me to do. I got the degree, I worked hard, I built a career. So why does it still feel like I'm one unexpected expense away from falling behind? And have you noticed something even stranger? The people you know who are objectively intelligent, engineers, doctors, managers, business owners, some of the smartest people in the room often seem just as financially stressed as everyone else. Why? What if intelligence was never the thing standing between you and wealth? What if there's a trap so invisible that it specifically targets smart people? And what if, without realizing it, you've already spent years inside it? Because here's something nobody tells you. Being smart and becoming wealthy are not the same skill. In fact, they often pull people in opposite directions. There's a person in your city right now, you probably know someone exactly like them. They make $180,000 a year. They have advanced degrees hanging on their wall. They're respected at work. People come to them for answers. They solve difficult problems every day. And yet every month their money disappears so quickly that they're genuinely anxious when an unexpected $2,000 expense shows up. Meanwhile, someone else who makes significantly less is quietly becoming wealthy. That shouldn't happen. But it happens all the time. And understanding why might be one of the most important financial lessons you'll ever learn. Because the trap isn't a lack of intelligence. The trap is that smart people often become addicted to solving the wrong problem. Think about your entire life for a moment. Since childhood, you've been rewarded for having answers. Good grades, promotions, recognition, expertise. Your brain learned a very specific equation. If I become smarter, life gets easier. And for many areas of life, that's true. Until money enters the conversation. Because money doesn't reward intelligence nearly as much as it rewards behavior. And behavior is emotional. That's the part nobody warned you about. The human brain that helped you become successful at work is often the exact same brain sabotaging your financial future at home. Because smart people don't usually make reckless decisions. They make rationalized ones. There's a difference. The average person might impulsively buy something expensive because they want it. The smart person creates a 5-minute presentation in their own head, explaining why buying it is actually a good investment. That's far more dangerous. Because once intelligence starts working for your impulses instead of your future, it becomes an accomplice, not a protector. You see this everywhere. The bigger apartment because you work from home. The luxury SUV because safety matters. The expensive neighborhood because it's good for networking. The upgraded vacation because you deserve experiences. None of these decisions are individually terrible. That's why the trap is so effective. The trap is that every decision sounds reasonable until 10 years pass. And suddenly you have a 6-figure salary and the exact same financial anxiety you had when you earned half as much. This isn't rare anymore. In fact, many high earners continue to live paycheck to paycheck because expenses expand alongside income, often due to lifestyle inflation. Even some households earning over $300,000 report experiencing the same financial pressure that lower earners do. That's not an income problem. That's a system problem. But it gets worse, because smart people are uniquely vulnerable to another trap. Optimization. They optimize everything: their productivity, their career, their sleep, their workouts, their calendars. But they never stop to ask a dangerous question. Am I optimizing my life, or am I optimizing my expenses? Because those are two completely different things. There's a strange thing that happens around your 30s and 40s. Your income grows, your responsibilities grow, your social circle grows, and slowly and visibly your definition of normal changes. A $3 coffee becomes a $9 coffee. A reliable car becomes an image. A home becomes a statement. Vacations become content. Dinner becomes an experience. And without realizing it, your baseline cost of existence quietly doubles. Nobody notices because everybody around you is doing the exact same thing. But here's the scary part. Nobody gets rich by upgrading their normal every year. Nobody, because wealth is not built through dramatic moments. It's built through thousands of boring decisions repeated for decades. And boring is becoming a scarce skill. The world profits from making you uncomfortable with ordinary. Advertising doesn't sell products anymore. It sells identities. It says you aren't buying shoes, you're buying confidence. You aren't buying a car, you're buying status. You aren't buying a watch, you're buying success. And smart people, ironically, are often easier to manipulate because they think they're immune. But nobody is immune. An entire industry exists to influence human behavior. Trillions of dollars have been spent understanding exactly how your brain works. Companies know when you feel insecure. They know when you're most likely to spend. They know your triggers, and every time your income rises, they simply move you into a more expensive version of the same game. That's all. Different numbers. Same trap. The real wealth gap isn't between rich people and poor people. It's between people who escape the game and people who are still playing it. That's the whole secret. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Here's another thing smart people accidentally do. They overestimate future income. They assume they'll always make more later, so they borrow against a future version of themselves that doesn't exist yet. The bigger house, the bigger payment, the bigger lifestyle. Future me will handle it. Future me will earn more. Future me will save. Then one day future you arrives. And suddenly you're 47 years old wondering why you've worked harder than ever and somehow still don't feel secure. Because future you inherited every decision present you made. And compounding works both ways. Everybody talks about compound interest. Almost nobody talks about compound obligations. Car payments compound. Subscriptions compound. Lifestyle expectations compound. Social pressures compound. And eventually they become permanent residents in your life. Then something interesting happens. Financial anxiety stops being about money. It becomes about freedom. Because freedom was always the thing you were trying to buy, not the house, not the car, not the vacation. Freedom. The freedom to leave a toxic job. The freedom to take care of your parents. The freedom to help your children. The freedom to say no. The freedom to sleep peacefully. That's what everyone is chasing. But the trap convinces people to buy symbols of freedom instead of freedom itself. And symbols are expensive. Here's a number worth remembering. America continues to carry massive household debt burdens, with total household debt approaching $19 trillion and credit card balances remaining near record highs. That debt isn't just numbers. It's future time being sold in advance. Every dollar paying 20% interest is a dollar working against your future instead of for it. Credit card debt in America remains near historic highs, making this one of the biggest silent wealth destroyers. The quietly wealthy understand something different. They don't ask, "Can I afford this?" Anybody can manipulate that answer. They ask, "What does this cost my future?" Those are different questions. One protects your ego, one protects your freedom. And here's the fascinating part. The people who build extraordinary wealth rarely look extraordinary while they're building it. They're not obsessed with earning more. They're obsessed with keeping their future alive. They understand that every dollar has two possible futures. It can become a memory, or it can become an employee. Memories disappear. Employees keep working. The quietly wealthy simply hire more employees every month. That's all investing really is. Hiring tiny workers that never sleep. And eventually, after 20 years, those workers outnumber your obligations. Then life changes. Not dramatically, quietly. A broken appliance becomes a Tuesday. A market downturn becomes background noise. A job loss becomes an inconvenience instead of a catastrophe. That's what wealth actually feels like. Not luxury, margin, space, breathing room, silence, the absence of panic. And maybe that's the greatest lie we were ever sold. We thought wealth would feel exciting. It doesn't. It feels calm. It feels boring. It feels invisible. It feels like opening your phone and realizing nothing urgent is waiting for you. And that might be the most luxurious feeling available to a human being. Because at the end of the day, the wealth trap keeping smart people broke isn't stupidity. It's misplaced intelligence. It's using a brilliant brain to justify temporary comfort instead of building permanent freedom. It's winning every battle while quietly losing the war. And that's the thing I want you to remember. You do not have an income problem. You may not even have a spending problem. You might have a scoreboard problem, Because the game was never about becoming someone who looks successful. The game was becoming someone who no longer has to worry about survival. One version of your life is available if you continue doing what everyone else does. Work harder, earn more, spend more, repeat. Another version is available if you simply change what you reward. Because 20 years from now, nobody will care what car you drove in 2026. Nobody will care what phone you owned. Nobody will care where you took that vacation. But you will care whether your future became easier or harder because of the decisions you are making today. And somewhere in your city right now, there's a person wearing an ordinary fleece jacket, driving an ordinary car, living an ordinary life, quietly becoming free. You might have walked past them yesterday. You might even become them. But only if you escape the trap before intelligence convinces you to stay inside it. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. See you in the next.